Welcome to the CEREC Connect introductory video. During this video, you will learn how to set up a CEREC Connect case, take the necessary digital impressions, and send the case to the lab of your choosing. By double-clicking on the CEREC Connect logo, the software will open and the mouse will automatically be placed on the New button, located in the top left corner of the screen. By clicking New, the Select Patient for New Restoration box is opened. Click the New button in the dialog box and type in the patient information. Click OK and click OK again with the patient selected to begin creating digital impressions. Before starting that process, let's talk about taking optical impressions. For CEREC Connect, the optical impressions make up 3 digital impressions: preparation, partial bite, and antagonist. For the preparation digital model, we want to make sure we capture the prepped area and the mesial and distal neighbors, including the canine. For the partial bite digital impressions, you can place the bite on any of the prepped teeth. In this case, if your bite is on the first molar prep, we will want to make sure that we capture the bite and the mesial and distal neighbors. We can also capture the bite and the 2 mesial neighbors if there are issues with gaining access to the distal neighbor of the bite. If the bite is on the pontic area, we can capture the bite and the mesial and distal neighbors, or the bite and the 2 mesial neighbors. And if the bite is on the bicuspid prep, we can once again capture the bite and mesial and distal neighbors, or the bite and the 2 mesial neighbors. When creating the antagonist digital impression, we want to make sure that the preparation digital impression and the antagonist digital impression are about the same length mesial distally. In the posterior, it is recommended that the preparation and antagonist digital impressions span from the most distal tooth to at least the canine. For this video, we will bring our models together with the partial bite on the bicuspid prep and capture the mesial and distal neighbors. Please note that a neighbor can also be a pontic area. Now we are ready to capture the preparation digital impression. Left-clicking on the preparation button in the top left corner of the screen activates the camera, and the automatic capture feature of the camera will take over. We are starting at the most distal tooth and working our way back to the canine. Once the optical impressions are captured, left-click on the preparation button to deactivate the camera. At this point, we can see the preparation digital impression in the upper right-hand corner, and we are now ready to take the partial bite. Moving the mouse from the preparation button to the partial bite button and left-clicking activates the camera for taking the partial bite optical impressions. When finished, left-click the partial bite button to deactivate the camera. In the 3D preview, you can see that in the image area of the partial bite, both the mesial and distal neighbor of the preparation model were captured. This ensures that the partial bite can be correlated to the preparation model. Before taking the antagonist optical impressions, we will need to turn the camera over and capture the teeth on the opposing arch. We then move the mouse from the partial bite button to the antagonist button and left-click, activating the camera and taking the antagonist optical impressions. Once again, we are starting at the most distal tooth and working our way to the canine. When finished, we left-click the antagonist button to deactivate the camera. Once the camera is deactivated, we can click the green arrow. At this point, the digital models will be correlated and generated in 3D in order to be reviewed, have margins applied, and sent to the lab through the CEREC Connect portal. Once the digital models are generated, we will want to review the 3 models and be certain that these models are ready to send to the lab. In the upper right-hand corner is the View window. This window contains 3 buttons. The preparation button will allow you to view the preparation digital model. The partial bite button will bring up the partial bite digital model, and the antagonist button will show you the antagonist digital model. Rotate the model around to ensure that the surface area of the model is smooth and that the margin can be clearly identified. Next, click the Partial Bite button to see the preparation and the partial bite. It is important to make sure that the parts of the bite that are touching the preparation impression are speckled, showing that the partial bite and the preparation are perfectly matched. And finally, we can rotate the model to the buckle view. Turn off the partial bite by clicking on its button, and click on the antagonist button to bring up the antagonist. We can rotate them to make sure that the models line up and are in proper contact. Once satisfied, we can turn off the antagonist model. Click the occlusal arrow to realign the preparation model, and click the green arrow to draw the margins. We will zoom in to see the margin clearly. This can be achieved by clicking on the plus button in the view window, or by clicking on the middle mouse button on your AC and rolling the trackball up. Now that the margin is fully visible, we can draw it on the model. Pick a spot on the margin and double left-click to start the automatic margin finder. Periodically, we want to single left-click to tack the margin down, and when we get to an area where the automatic margin finder has trouble, we can hit the space bar and enable manual mode to manually draw the margin. Once the margin is more defined, hit spacebar again to reactivate the automatic margin finder. Here is another area to manually draw the margin and then switch back to the automatic to finish the process. Once we are finished drawing the margin, we can rotate the model to make sure that the margin is exactly where it should be. Once we are happy with the result, we click the green arrow and draw the second margin. Now the model is rotated to check the second margin. Since we are happy with the result, we will click on the CEREC Connect button, which will take us to the CEREC Connect portal, where the online prescription form can be filled out and the digital impression can be uploaded.